I'm so buzzing with myself right now because I'm not gonna lie, do you know how happy I am? I just made my first little Instagram, you know, one of those little outfit videos that everyone's doing? I made one and I put it up and I was like, oh my God. Anyway, just get over that. The littlest things clearly, evidently make me that happy. Hello honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now, then hi, my name is Imogen, welcome to my YouTube channel. If you aren't just joining me now and you've returned, then thank you so much for returning. And if you are returning, then you know what this is. And also everyone knows what this is, Imogen, because it's the Storytime title. But it is again my Storytime Sunday. So every single Sunday we have Storytimes and it is on all my previous jobs. I will leave a link in the description of all the ones that I've already done because I think I've done 6, maybe 5, maybe even 4. I'm rubbish. Anyway, no, I've done 5. This is the 6th. Okay. Is it? Don't know. Anyway, so please definitely subscribe. Join my family of Huns if you want to. You probably don't after that, but please definitely do because we have a lot of content. I'm doing 3 videos a week at the moment. Tuesdays, Fridays. That's rude, isn't it? Anyway, just subscribe. Tuesdays, Fridays and Sundays. That's when I'm uploading. So today we go back into Hollister. Also, how strange, but I did a story time about Hollister, about my previous experience and my job time at there, and Shane Dawson uploads a conspiracy theory about Hollister and about the people they employ and stuff like that, and I was like, oh my goodness. And all of you were like, this is so cool, and I was like, oh my God. I mean, obviously me and Shane are best friends, I wish, but actually so cool that he started talking about something which I'm also talking about. I mean, it's irrelevant, just shut up, Imogen. So I ended my journey at the Brighton Hollister and I went and moved to Cardiff for my ex-boyfriend. So I moved to Cardiff and I was loving life and I thought, you know what, I need a job. Where do I go? Obviously Hollister, you know. Your girl basically loved it because of the 0-hour contract, like I said, and just, I felt like it was a fun, easy working environment. Everyone was young, fresh, funky, and I'm just ignore me. But anyway, it was a really fun environment, and luckily I didn't have to re-interview. They just transferred me, which normally they don't really do, but I think they, you know, swindled a couple of things. Anyway, I was absolutely buzzing, and I was really nervous about working within a store where I knew no one, but also I knew no one from that place. I knew no one from Cardiff, so I was very much on my own, like, hi everyone, you know, when you're just like that. Anyway, I met 2 of the most wonderful angels in the world, one of which I still speak to now. The other girl that I was close to, I don't know, she just disappeared off the radar, and it wasn't, you know, a nasty friendship breakup or anything like that. We just grew apart, I guess. But my angel Flo, I know you're probably watching this, I love you so much, she's such an angel. Basically, Flo was my manager at Hollister in Cardiff, and there was a couple of managers, there was about 4. Flo was amazing and I love her so much, to the point where Flo and the other girl, they really got me through living in Cardiff because I found it very isolated because I was completely on my own. I moved there for my ex and I had no friends, and within my ex's job there was a lot of girls that I could become close to. However, that wasn't going to happen. The job that he had where the girls that I could have become close to, I could have, just weren't the people I wanted to be close with. And I used to actually take my mum to social events with them because they weren't people that I gelled with. They weren't people that we had completely different upbringings, we had just completely different outlooks on life, completely different morals, we were completely different. One girl I actually became really close with in Cardiff, who I'm still really close with as well now, but she's not from Cardiff. We met through my ex-boyfriend and her boyfriend. They had the same job and she's amazing. However, at the time when I lived in Cardiff, we weren't close at all. Like, we were not friends, but that's a whole other story about my life in Cardiff and my, you know, that previous life. But getting off topic as per usual, Flo was amazing. Flo was the best manager ever. She was wonderful, and the other girls, just, they really got me through living in Cardiff, to the point where I just felt like I could really depend on them, really open up to them, and they were just my friends. And it was amazing that I got to find people that I still talk to now, and this was years ago. This was like 7 years ago. Yeah, oh my God. Okay, 7 years ago, and they are just so special to me and amazing. However, on the topic of managements and people that were really nice, there was a manager at Hollister in Cardiff who wasn't so nice. So basically, she'd obviously been one of the models, because you know they have the title model. I don't think they do anymore. The title of model was a very funny one, and some of the male models that work there, she was very attracted to. I don't know whether she was attracted to them or she loved attention or she was a flirt, or I'd heard a couple of things, that she'd actually been sleeping with some of them, but I wasn't aware. I wasn't aware until I'm in the fitting room, just minding my own business, loving my life, not knowing anyone basically. You know, this is the very beginnings of Hollister in Cardiff. And this guy was talking to me, and he was one of the models. I hate saying that, it makes me physically sick. But he was one of the male models at Hollister, and he was talking to me. Should I just say male? I'm not gonna say this. He was the male, he just worked at Hollister. This is a shambles already, this story time, isn't it? Yeah, please bear with me. So he was one of the guys that worked at Hollister, and he came in and he was very muscly, very like, you know, he's actually dating someone in the public eye now, which is funny, but he's a really nice guy, a very nice guy. But I think at the time, he was very promiscuous, a bit of a ladies' man, a bit of a charmer. I mean, I was in a relationship, so I was completely, no thanks. Like, I'm very loyal and very, you know, one sort of, my eyes just went really like there, but I'm just very much like my fiance now, he to me is the best looking thing in the whole world. But it's not even that, it stems so much deeper. Like, I love him with every single bone in my body, to the point where if any man walked past me, I couldn't even see them. Like, I don't even see them as good looking, even if they were. It's just, yeah, anyway. But this guy, everyone was obsessed with, and I couldn't see it. So then, basically, she comes into the fitting room, this manager. What should we call her? Beatrice? No, we can't call her Beatrice, because I feel like that really doesn't suit her. What could I call her? Let's just call her Nasty Manager. Let's call her Nasty Manager, that's easier. So Nasty Manager comes in and she's like fuming that he's in the fitting rooms talking to me. Fuming. When I mean fuming, like I saw the steam. And at this point, I didn't know that they were supposedly sleeping together. Had no clue. But I'm in the fitting rooms. He's come in to get some clothes and he's talking to me. And maybe he was being a bit flirty, but I'm just so naive, I didn't see it. Anyway, she comes in and she's like, I've been standing there for 5 minutes listening to you two chat. And I was like, right, okay. And I was like, but we're allowed to talk because he's just getting clothes. And she was like, I heard what you were talking about. And I was like, what? I was so confused because I was like, this is my manager. This is really unprofessional. She's been listening to my conversation. I get that maybe you shouldn't be talking around customers, but there were no customers in there. And I was like, and he was basically talking about his gym or something like that. I couldn't really remember. And I think he said something quite flirtatious and I just kind of laughed it off like, ha ha ha. She went, yeah, I heard what you said to her. And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, they were having a domestic in front of me. And I was just chilling like, this is my first week. Get me out of here. Like, this lady is about to pull me another head off. Like, I was like, listen, to be fair, if they were sleeping together and he was being flirty with me, I get why she was annoyed. However, A, you're not allowed to sleep with your staff, so she was doing something vastly wrong there. B, I was about to say second, but B, so unprofessional, like, so unprofessional. Like, fair enough, go outside with me and I finished my shift, you finished your shift, you want to say something, fair enough. But I was so awkward. I was like, I've got in the middle of this domestic. Like, it was so awkward. It was so awkward. Anyway, from that moment on, the girl hated me. Bearing in mind, this girl was so beautiful. She was gorgeous, amazing figure, everything. However, listen, I'm not gorgeous or have an amazing figure, but we were similar to look at. Both brown hair, both same eye colour, both kind of smile, teeth, very quite similar, but different. Like, if I put us next to each other, you'd be like, you look so different. But, because she's unreal. But I mean, as in like, if you put us next to each other, you'd see we have the same attributes, but just completely different faces and, you know, whatever. Anyway, so she just did not like me. And I was like, this is gonna make my time hell. Couldn't tell my boyfriend at the time because I felt like he'd then be like, why are you talking to this guy in the fitting room? So I was like, you know, what am I doing? What am I doing? Anyway, so this kind of does intertwine with my ex-boyfriend in a way. I need to tell you that story because basically what happened was every Saturday, no, I would work Sundays and then throughout the week when I could just pick up shifts wherever. However, my ex-boyfriend was quite protective and possessive, I would say. Very, in fact, to the point where I had tabs on me at all times. Like, all times. You might not know this at Hollister, but they have like double doors that look out to the shopping mall and you can see in. So sometimes I'd have to stand in the front room and the double doors would look out to the shopping mall. I would see my ex-boyfriend just standing outside and I'd be like, right, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna finish in 2 hours. You know, like, what? So it made everything awkward because I felt as if a man did come into the room to speak to me, male model, male assistant, you know, shopping assistant, oh no, I would be like, yeah, it's over there. Because he'd be looking at me. Like, that story is another story. Like, the possessiveness and everything like that just is a completely different level. Does that look really orange? No, thought it did. Just thought I caught it in the viewfinder. Anyway, right, so basically from that, the horrible manager really didn't like me, and that was really difficult for me. However, it gets a little bit worse. So this is why it links into my ex-boyfriend. My ex-boyfriend, again, was really possessive and very funny. And sometimes things would happen whereby where we lived in Cardiff, this was when I didn't drive, where we lived in Cardiff was so cut off, it was a joke. To the point where you'd have to get a taxi, which took about 20 to 25 minutes to come to your house, a taxi to the train station would then take you to another train station, and the train station would then take you to Cardiff. Like, I didn't live in Cardiff as such. So it took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get to work. And most of the time, well, actually every single time, my ex-boyfriend would take me because it was too difficult to get to where I was going. However, with my ex-boyfriend, his job was very well paid. I hate saying that, but it really was. And he was very controlling. And that's why I wanted my own thing. That's why I wanted to work at Hollister. I was like, I need this for me. I need to have my own money. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I should have walked away from that boy a long time before it. However, you know, we live and learn. We definitely live and learn. I wish I'd met my fiance now when I was 16, you know, that'd be the dream. However, it doesn't always work out like that. But it's fine. I've met him now, I'm 25. I've got the whole rest of my life with him. But, so one day he refused to take me to work because he was feeling, I don't know, he said he doesn't like me working in that environment, and because basically the week before I'd had to take a photo with a lot of the other guys. There was like 10 girls and 10 guys picked for the cover photo, which gets sent off to all the stores, and it shows their kind of their favorites, I guess. I don't really know, I couldn't even tell you. But he didn't like the fact that he saw who was working there men wise, and he didn't like it, so he wouldn't take me in. So I was like, how am I going to get in? And at this point I only had 40 minutes to get to work. I was never going to make it. So I called in and I was like, I'm really sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it today, I'm not very well, I really don't feel very well, I'm really sorry. Anyway, I got nasty manager on the phone, and she was like, what's wrong with you then? I was like, I don't really want to discuss it, but because I was kind of edging towards the fact I had diarrhea, because it's a really good one, isn't it? Because you can't leave the toilet, can you? So anyway, I was like, oh, I don't want to talk about it, but it's something to do with my stomach, you know, I can't leave the toilet. She was like, you're not ill. She actually said this to me on the phone. She's like, you're not ill. I was like, I think it's actually illegal for you to accuse me of lying. Bearing in mind, I was lying. I was lying. However, unfortunately for me, I was in such a difficult position, which I can't really go into, but my ex-boyfriend was just another level. He was very abusive, and yeah, I don't really want to go into it right now. But, so she was questioning me, and I was like, I had him going mad at me, I had her on the phone accusing me, and actually I'd never pulled a sickie before, and I felt really like, that's really invasive. And I get it as a manager, you know, but there was so many other staff that she didn't need me, but she just didn't like me, that she wanted to just jump on it. She was like, I know you're lying. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's illegal for you to say that. I was just about to say her name. I was like, it's pretty illegal for you to say that, so I'm going to actually take this further. Wow. She didn't like it, did she? She didn't like it. She did not like it. And actually it got to the point where my ex just wouldn't take me to work ever, and explained that because, this is me being completely honest, what he said. He said that what he earns is ridiculous, that a lot of the boys where he was working was kind of taking the mick that he wasn't giving me money. And I was like, I don't want your money. I'm fully content to earn my own money. I'm an independent woman. Like, I'm going back to uni. I was on like a couple of months off because I'd already done that term. So I was taking that term off. And yeah, he was like, you're not working. And I was like, I am working. And he was like, you're not. And this is me being honest. I had no one in Cardiff. My family didn't know exactly what he was like because I kept it to myself. I had no really good friends around me because I lived in Cardiff. I also didn't want to tell anyone because I was so embarrassed that my partner was so horrible and abusive and manipulative and controlling and just, yeah, just physically and mentally abusive, to the point where I actually did stop working. Because when someone refused to take you to work, it would cost me more money to get to work than it would actually that I would earn in that day. So yeah, I ended up giving him exactly what he wanted, and I stopped working because, you know, what I would pay in travel, I would never earn in that day. I worked 4 hours to 6 hours and it was just horrible. I became so lost. I was such a different person. I was being given money a month by my ex-boyfriend. So if it came to his birthday and I'd buy him a present, he would have bought it himself because I wasn't earning any money. And my family just didn't know anything because I didn't want to tell anyone. I didn't want to tell my friends. It's embarrassing. And, you know, one thing I want you to get out of this story time is, A, don't work with nasty managers, but also B, don't lie about being ill. But C, please, if you are in an abusive, toxic relationship, tell someone, because telling someone might make them talk you out of it. You need someone to be there. Talk to someone, call someone. There's so many different helplines. Oh, if I'd have talked to someone, you know, a couple of months into our relationship, I wouldn't have lasted as long as we did. So toxic. And he didn't change actually until I moved in with him. So that actually wasn't, there was no signs. There was no signs. And sometimes there isn't signs. But yeah, that was kind of how my Hollister journey ended in Cardiff. It was very short-lived. When I mean short-lived, it was literally like, after that conversation I had with the horrible manager, I went in one more time and then I called up again and I was like, I'm leaving. And I think she was so happy about it. Like on the phone, she was so nasty about it. And I was like, do you know what? That's one thing as well, a moral of this story, I guess. You just can't judge a book by its cover. You don't know what that person's going through. I guess, you know, you could probably look at me and be like, oh, she's skiving. She just didn't want to go to work. But actually, the real truth was so opposite to that. It was a joke. So I love you all so much. Like, I just want you to all know that I'm always here. Like, I know I can't respond to every single person, but let's just make a lovely family in the comments section. If you want to remain anonymous, make a YouTube account that hasn't got your name, and hopefully we can all just make friends in the comment section. I see you all be so friendly to each other and supportive of each other. It means so much to me, but you don't even know that, Cardiff. Like, I was so bad. I was bad. Like, I went in and I was just watched by my ex-boyfriend. I ended up having to leave because he was absolute nutter with me, and no one knew. Everyone thought in Cardiff I had this perfect life, you know, oh, she has, no, money is nothing. Money brings you comfortability to do stuff with nice people, but you know, like me and my partner now, I could be in a cardboard box with him and I'd be happy. But the reason I earn money and I want to make money is because I want to do nice things with him. I want to have a house, I want to have kids and have them have nice things to do, you know, go on nice holidays and stuff like that. I don't earn money so I can go and buy designer goods. I don't care about stuff like that. Sorry, this story time was literally all over the place, but I just had to finish that story time before we go on to the next one. So my next job, it's funny, and there's a lot of stories from that. It's actually also linked to Hollister. I don't know whether I need to make that a couple of different story times, because the story times I have about that London Hollister, I worked in 2. I've worked in 4 Hollisters. Apparently I didn't want to stop. So I was actually a manager. I turned into a manager. Yeah, but I'll do the ones where I wasn't a manager beforehand, the one in Regent Street, because you wait. The things I have to tell you about it. I've actually done a story time about a first date fail, and this boy that worked at that Hollister was included in that, but you just wait for that story time. There's some controversy about the managers, there's all sorts. Okay, well, I'll see you next Sunday, but I'll also see you Tuesday and Friday. Friday, I have an amazing vlog with my partner, my fiance. Tuesday, I have a very exciting video, which I've seen circle the internet at the moment and circle YouTube, so yeah. And that was quite hard to film. So I'll see you then, but I love you all so much. Until next time, I'm gonna love you, and I'm gonna leave you. Okay, I hope you love story times because I've got so many more coming. I love you, bye.